Hey everybody, this is your boy, Head Coach Ross of the ATACX Gym, Street Warriors, and Giahuru. Going to get into a political issue here. Remember I told you last week that I would investigate the more recent shooting regarding the Ohio police and the shooting of 13-year-old Tyree King. I told you I would investigate it. I wasn't going to rush into any judgment. I was going to find information. I was going to get back to you guys about this. There's been a lot that's happened since that point in time, including the capture of the terrorist suspect from Jersey in New York, and bombs being set off and all other kind of good things. We'll get to that in my other videos, so look for those in my other videos. Although there will be some mention of that here because it overlaps to make a point that I'm making here. Okay, regarding the Tyree King murder, here's the information that I've received, okay? Initially, the report was from the police that the Ohio police indicated that they were called regarding a robbery suspect, spoke to the robbery victim, who told them that there were 3 men, one of whom had a gun on him, okay? According to the Ohio police, and you guys can Google this, you can Google this, okay? Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So just in case you think I'm kidding here, because I know most of you are not gonna go and do anything silly like, actually go read it yourself, go crack a book, go do other research. So I want to show you on my phone right here where my sources are, so that you can fact check me if there's any issues here. And believe you me, I will fact check you if you say anything to me. And those of you who are on my comment sections, I'll fact check you too. So we fact check each other. Everybody on my comment sections, we keep it right and tight. We fact check each other so we don't go about with wild accusations. Okay, so just so you can see it here. I hope you can see it. Sometimes my phone here develops a sense of humor, and it does not allow proper viewing of. There it is. It's kind of upside down there. Let's see here. But okay, basically this is what it says. If you put into Google Ohio Police 2016, the first story you will see is teen killed by Columbus, Ohio. Police was shot while fleeing, and that was by Reuters, a reputable news organization, and they put it up 22 hours ago. Okay, now I'm going to read real quick, just quickly paraphrase what they said. The police indicated that that Braxton and King were 2 of 3 suspects police confronted after responding to reports of an armed robbery. Police are still looking for other individuals who might have been with Braxton at the time of the robbery. Okay, now 3 things here. The police indicated that Tyree King, 13-year-old Tyree King, had fled from them. They cornered him. They caught up to him in the alleyway. Not cornered him, caught up to him in the alleyway. And he turns toward them and pulls from his waistband a weapon which he points at them. Looks like a 9mm, and that has a laser-mounted scope on it. They shoot him and kill him. Under those circumstances, as tragic as it sounds, that is a legitimate shooting. Let's keep it honest between us, okay? Let's keep it 100, really, truly, and let's be honest with each other. If you were confronted, if you had a gun, and someone just did something to someone you care for, or just ran into your house or what have you, did something to you, and it was your job to apprehend that individual, and you pursued them according to your job, and that person turned around, reached into his waistband, and pulled out a gun and pointed at you, you'd shoot him too. 9 times out of 10, you shoot him, you injure him gravely. To shoot with pinpoint accuracy, to not injure someone under circumstances where they may be looking to kill you, and where those shots, those non-lethal shots, may allow them to get off a shot to you that is lethal to you, is very, very, very difficult, and is significantly beyond the average skill of the average person or the average police officer. They haven't received enough training in that regard. Consistent training, most especially. So under the first release of the police, That sounded like it might have been a legitimate shooting. But like I told you, as soon as I heard it, I knew that we had to go delve into it and delve into the past interactions with Ohio police and see what the actually the track record is, how they actually interact with people of color, and especially the African American community, and put all of this in the proper context for the proper background for this particular instance, in this particular incident. Well, it turns out, according to Braxton, and again, Google it, you can see the same results that I'm getting, and I'm quoting from Reuters here, and from who else is over here? This from places like CBS News and USA Today, etc., so on and so forth. You get the whole list of them as soon as you pull it up on Google. Okay. Well, Braxton, who was with Tyree King, relates a different set of events. He says that he was with a group of people, and that in the people who he's with did in fact rob someone. Notice how Braxton does not say Bransfield, whatever. I believe they're saying his name is Braxton here because the name kind of changes depending on which source you're using. Right now, I'm using CNN.com, and this under the Tyree King shooting. Ohio police. It says Ohio officers kill robbery suspect 13 who had BB gun. Police say. Okay, and this was updated 10:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, September 15th, 2016. This is from CNN.com. Okay, so it's one to cite my sources here so everybody knows what's going on. I hope you can see that. Yeah, it's from CNN.com. That's what I'm citing right here. Okay. All right. So here's the issue. The police chief, a woman by the name of Kim Jacobs, is holding up the 9mm looking BB gun that she says that Tyree King had. Okay, let me see if I can pull a picture of that up. See if I can show it to you here so you can see what I'm doing. There. Hope you can see it. This is the gun that they said that Tyree had, a 9mm BB gun, a 9mm. This thing is tripping. Excuse me, everybody. There we go. A 9mm BB gun. Okay. All right. Again, Tyree King's cohort in these set of events directly disputes those stories. He says the police told them to raise their hands up. They both did comply. Braxton went down to the ground and stayed there, whereas King went down as well. But as the police threatened them with arrest, King got up and he ran away. He said the police shot him 4 or 5 times and killed him. At no time did King even go for his gun. Now, that's his story. The autopsy, now that was unearthed by the family, Tyree King's family. All right, they have a lawyer who went and hired a coroner experts, and the information that they received here is definitely different, as you would expect on the one hand. Okay, the forensic report released on Monday by attorneys representing the family of 13-year-old African-American boy fatally shot by a white Columbus, Ohio police officer last week said the teenager was shot 3 times while running away. Let's see if I can show this to you guys. This is from Reuters. Okay, this is from Reuters. Right here. So pull it up on your Google and you can fact check and you can see where I'm coming from. All right. Okay, now Francisco Diaz, a Michigan medical examiner hired by the family's attorneys, on Sunday examined the body of Tyree King. According to the Columbus Police Department, he was shot multiple times after he appeared to pull a handgun from his waistband during an encounter with police after a report of an armed robbery. All right, now, right away you're thinking like, okay, the medical examiner hired by the family's attorney is going to say something that's incriminating to the police. The police are going to say something that's incriminating to the suspects. Where is the truth? What's really going on? We kind of expect each group to pursue their own interests first. We understand that. Even though each group may actually be telling the truth, depending on where you are and what the circumstances are, we know that number one, they're going to pursue their interests, especially when the truth reflects their interests. Well, there's a way to fact check both of them. And unfortunately, the Ohio State Police are being obstructionist in this regard. The way to fact check both of them is to have the police officer's gun and have it one of my clients, international clients calling me right here, and have that gun examined by both experts and an independent party. So the state firearm expert should be able to examine the gun. An authority accepted by the family and their attorney should be allowed to examine the gun, and then an oversight commission expert should be able to examine the gun. The other issue is, which has been skipped over, and this is of the first importance, is the crime scene control, crime scene fidelity. What information can be unearthed from that crime scene? Because if the police officer fired more bullets than were found within the body of Tyree King, that means the bullets missed him and traveled somewhere and lodged themselves in some other location. You will be able to use mathematics to determine, purely from the location of the gun, the location of the shootout, height of the shooter, height of Tyree King, etc., so on and so forth. You'll be able to apply the mathematical variables to find out exactly what happened. Did Tyree run away? Were all the shots fired at one place? Etc., so on and so forth. This evidence is held on the crime scene itself. This evidence has been controlled by the Ohio police. And that is another major issue of concern, because the Ohio police have not been outstanding in any way regarding their treatment of African Americans. And it goes as far back as 2010 and before. Okay? Let me again start pulling out some of the history involved here. Okay? And then I'm going to compare it to something else to really drive the point home. Okay? All right. Let's see here. Let's start off with one of the ones you guys remember. You should remember. In 2014, this same Ohio police were responding to the Walmart, wherein they received a call of a black man by the name of John Crawford, who was allegedly pulling out a rifle in Walmart. We all know Walmart doesn't actually carry bullet guns in there. You got pellets and BBs, but they will not dispense firearms, at least not out here in the West Coast from Ohio to California. All right? But the police were told that, hey, some guy is pointing a rifle at people in the Walmart. Okay? Now, for those of you who are not of age, I'm warning you now, this is graphic videos. You should not be watching this. Your parents who should be supervising you should not be letting you watch this. All right? But this is a video of the actual shooting death of John Crawford here. So I want to say this, so there'll be no questions or doubts about it. I don't have to come between you and the information. You can see it yourself. This is the video. Watch for the police officer. This is John is at the end. He's the guy in the black. He is at the end of the alleyway, facing away from anyone and everyone, just holding the rifle pointing down on the ground. You see it? Boom, boom, he gets shot. Boom, he gets shot at. He tries to move away because a police officer. Boom, he gets shot again. Down he goes. Notice the first thing that happens when he was shot, he released the rifle. He had no weapon on him. And he wasn't doing anything, that was deadly in the first place. There should have been some verbal interaction. Hey, what are you doing? Put that down. Put it down, buddy. Put it down. It's the police here, so on and so forth. Instead, the Ohio police came forward and just shot him right away. No interaction shown in that video other than shooting. And we could tell from Mr. Crawford's behavior, his body language, and nobody was talking to him. He was basically going la-di-da-di-da, looking around while he had the rifle in his hand. It looked like he was looking at other items he might purchase that were probably germane to the rifle or what have you. Okay? They came up and they shot and killed him. What is even worse, and what is frequently glossed over, and which oftentimes sets the tone for a fatal encounter even before the police arrives, is that the person who called the police frequently themselves give very inflammatory and false information. In this case, and this happened numerous times, but oftentimes the investigations are so poor that we don't get this information out except in the neighborhood. In the neighborhood we know, because a lot of us are there and we tell the real story, okay? Oftentimes the real story doesn't make it to the media, or even slivers of it doesn't make it to the mass media. So, okay, now here's the killer. Here's the killer. The witness, the man, and this again, you can go ahead and go to the same place I did and read it. Go to the same place I did and read it, okay? The man who called the police and who stated that John Crawford III was pointing the gun at shoppers and may have loaded it with bullets, that man, 1 month later, recanted his statement, admitted he wasn't telling the truth, and that John Crawford hadn't loaded or pointed anything at anyone. But yet he told the police that this behavior was happening, giving the police a ready and amped up life-threatening possible, a higher life-threatening possibility of a mentality, of a higher life-threatening possibility of an encounter before they even arrive. Then they see that the person in question is a black man, and they take the levels of violence up even higher. Now, just in case you think this is a single instance or a one-off, I decided to go ahead and check what else has happened, okay, in Ohio. Now, in 2012, now I remember this. I don't remember if you guys do, but December 8th of 2012, at the end of President Obama's first 4-year term, okay, the Cleveland, Ohio police were involved in a chase where they were chasing a suspect and who was unarmed. 2 people, in fact, who were unarmed, and they shot the unarmed couple, Melissa Williams, 30, and Timothy Russell, 43, 137 times. They put 137 shots into their car, okay? 137 shots into their car because one police officer said he thought he heard gunfire coming from the vehicle. Turns out what happened was the car had a misfire. It kicked back. His muffler was bad. Instead of even remotely investigating this possibility, the police pursued Williams and Timothy Russell. Now, some of you are probably going like, why did you drive away? Why did you run? Or what have you? You're forgetting the context here. You're forgetting the history here. It's almost certain that Williams and Russell knew that they were in trouble and that they hadn't done anything wrong, and yet the police had set after them anyway. And in their instinctive response to protect themselves, which you have too, and all human beings have, we call it fight or flight reflex. Well, they chose flight. They were in a car. They tried to drive away and escape. The police cornered them and fired 137 shots into their vehicle. Now, just sit there and think about that. 137 shots. You had to empty your entire clip, reload, and empty that one too. Those are just the shots that was fired into the vehicle, not the shots that were fired that missed the vehicle. Just consider what that means. Now, apply that again to the event that we're looking at here. Should we start? I mean, it really should. It would cause a reasonable person to have some significant questions or pause or doubts immediately about the story that the Ohio police would say whenever an unarmed black person gets killed again by them. And for good reason. For good reason. And I'm not saying that there aren't, knuckleheads who actually, let me keep it 100, these knucklehead criminals out here, there are people who deserve to get shot. There's a lot of people don't like it. Is not politically correct. But I never said I was the head coach of politically correctness. I said I'm the head coach of the tax gym. So I'm going to tell you what I think. All right? Out here, East Side Long Beach, downtown Long Beach, beast side, not B, but beast side, like the monster beast side Long Beach was one of the nicknames for East Side Long Beach. I have seen all kind of crazy people do all kind of crazy things. Southeast San Diego, near Skyline, 58th and Skyline and whatnot. I used to live right there. I've seen all kind of crazy things happen. I lived in Compton. I've seen all kind of crazy people and things happen. There's some of these people who deserve to get shot. They do. We don't like them either. So we don't kick up a dust about them when they get shot. Because we're like, it's good for you. It's a long time coming. You deserve that. All right? And while we're on it, let me preempt some of the commentary that we receive in the comment section. Those of you who think that we black, and I'm not talking to the majority of you. Majority of you, 95% of you, you're fine. You don't have to worry about this part. But the 5% of you who are inevitably Caucasians of a very conservative flavor, who somehow or other get it into your mind that we as African Americans coddle black criminals. We coddle black criminals, but then we get outraged when white police officers shoot these black criminals who are going to shoot us, or are basically doing to us what we do to us with all the time. Not true. See, you're not applying even the most elementary form of logic. These white police officers do not live in our neighborhoods. Therefore, in order for them to receive a call about someone in our neighborhood and be directed toward that person, it's a black person who called them. It's a black person who directed them. Which means, in order to call and direct, you have to have a lack of tolerance for criminal behavior. So please do not open your mouth and say anything stupid about what it is that we do. You're not us. You're not from our community. Sit down. Shut up. Thank you. Okay. Now on to the facts. Oh, there were 6 Cleveland police officers who fired those 137 shots, just to let you know. So there's a lot of reloading and continual shooting going on without a single bullet coming back at them. So there was an execution, an inexcusable, unprovoked execution. Now let's go on to 2013. We have another Ohio police scene chase wherein a very similar result happened. I don't even have to go into the details. Go look it up, Lakewood, Ohio police chase. You'll see the video. Okay? Let's see if I can point that out for you. There, so you can see what's going on. Here we go. There we go. You can see it. It's on YouTube. Hope it's loading up for you. It's taking a moment here for my phone to load up. It's developing a sense of humor. But here's the general idea. It's under Lakewood, Ohio Police Chase 10/26/2012. All right. Okay. It responded to a Honda work van that was stolen on a driveway on Robinwood Avenue. Okay. I want you to read that. I want you to check that out because the results are going to be different. There's a reason why I want you to do it. I'm not going to tell you why. Go do your own research for once. All right. So now we're going to move on to the same Ohio police and their behavior last year, 2015. That again is another high-speed chase, same type of thing. Go do it. Go do the research right here. Let me see if I can pull it out for you here. Stolen van, etc., so forth, and the whole get down there happens again. Now, Let me pull this out of here. Pull this over here to really make the point clear. I'm sorry for taking so long, but I want to cover all of this so that you understand what's going on. In 2015 also, remember, there was a innocent black man completely minding his own business, all right, who was stopped by a university police officer and indicted in a traffic stop, which he wasn't guilty of, which then the police officer turned around and killed him for. Let me see if I can show it to you here. It was so inexcusable that even for them, they had to indict the police officer in question, which, you know, is not exactly the trend out over here. I hope I can show it to you here. There we go. I think we almost got it. There we are. There we go. University cop indicted, okay, in shooting. University cop indicted in shooting motorist Samuel Dubois. Samuel Dubois. Can you see it? University cop indicted. Can you see it? Okay, cool. All right. Go look it up. University cop indicted for murder and shooting of motorist Samuel Dubois. Killed him at a traffic stop. Keep all this in mind now. Last week, shot a 13-year-old boy, barely 5 feet tall, barely 100 pounds, all right, who allegedly pulled the weapon on him, but all available witnesses said that didn't happen, and the coroner's report indicates that he was shot 3 times while he was fleeing, was killed. In each and every incident you're looking at here, you're looking at an unprovoked response that has only 3 things in common: black victims, white officers, black death. Please keep this in mind. Now, for those of you who are opening up your mouths about saying anything that might possibly justify what just occurred, let me underscore to you what happened this exact same week that Tyree King was killed by the same Ohio police force. Okay. In a heroic twist of events, hope you can see this, twist of events, the police free an Ohio woman after her abduction, okay? And they find 2 bodies. 2 bodies. The prime suspect is this white man right here who they arrest and who admits to murder as well as kidnapping, and they find the remains of 3 other people. Guess what? This suspect, whose name is Sean Great, this guy right here, his name is Sean Great. He's extremely alive in jail, uninjured, not shot, not tasered, nothing. You see what we're driving at here? The guy who kidnapped women, who was found with multiple dead bodies, who is a serial killer, he's white. Therefore, the police don't do anything to him. He's extremely alive, uninjured, in jail, not hanging himself mysteriously in a jail cell like they said Sandra Bland, 28-year-old girl who had didn't violate one law and already had some extraordinarily wonderful plans, to engage in wonderful activities that very same week with her friends 2 days after she was put in jail. So, of course, she wasn't anywhere near suicidal. She suddenly finds herself dead. And not only her, but 40 other black people find themselves dead in jail. And mysteriously, they're just dead in police custody. The white serial killer stays alive, unharmed, unshot. These are the kind of things that we find to be deeply offensive and deeply repellent. Whenever we hear the Trumps, the Tommy Lahrens, the Ann Coulters, or other assorted morons and their supporters publicly being stupid within our earshot, we find that to be offensive. 99% of you, regardless of what color you are or political stripe, if you're following me, you likely have an acute intellect and a more open mind. Now that you have been informed, you should go about informing the people in your circles too, because not all of you are black who follow me. In fact, most of you are not black who follow me. It's just as important for you to spread the truths that you know are true among your friends who you know and I know won't say to me what they're really thinking, but they'll say it to you. They'll say it to you because you're not black. You're not of African descent. They won't say it to me because I am, and the constraints of what they misinterpret as political correctness. So once again, if Tyree King pulled a gun on me or you, will we shoot him? Yeah. Do the facts support at this juncture, based upon the information we've been able to acquire, not only in this instance, but the previous instances that are similar to this one regarding the Ohio police and their interaction with the black men? Do the facts support the story of the police officers? No. No. So how do we resolve this matter? Well, let me tell you and let me keep it straight. There's another thing that makes a lot of people mad, but I don't care. All right? Because I'm going to tell you something that you need to know. Many of you, and now I'm talking more exclusively to people of color here because we're the ones getting shot the most. Not shot exclusively, shot the most when we're not doing anything. So many of you who are watching me here, all right, who are people of color, wherever you are, here in Brazil, Indonesia, whatever, pay attention. First thing you need to do, monitor your kids and yourselves better. I have a blog about this. Use the miracle of modern technology like I'm doing with you right now. So if the police came through the windows or what have you and started acting a fool, we'd have them recorded. Plus, I'm gonna take a good half dozen with me, easy. I'm not going solo. All right, so that's number one. Number two, make certain that you engage in preventative methods and preventative lifestyle choices. Where the drama is, don't be there. Go to my blog, Capoeira That Works, and I detail this with extreme depth and show you how easy it is to do. Get into the habit of doing this, okay? Tyree King was likely murdered. But if Tyree King wasn't with people trying to rob someone, he wouldn't be in his position to get murdered like that today. Now, he might have been killed anyway. This is something that a lot of conservatives forget. You could just be black on the wrong day in the United States and you get killed. That's it. But you increase the likelihood of you being okay if you stay away from roughneck, criminally inclined crooks who we in the neighborhood do not like. Everyone from the neighborhood, you know what I'm talking about. You know we don't like these fools. As we call them, these fools, these knuckleheads, these saggy pants having individuals who cause us problems. We don't like them. Keep your kids from being involved with stuff that'll bring the drama. You know this. Thirdly, enroll them in self-defense classes like mine. Go to my website, ATACX Capoeira at googlesites.com. Buy the instructionals there. The training and the teaching will inculcate an inner discipline which prevents you from being caught up in that kind of drama, helps sharpen you and strengthen yourself as a person, as an individual, and gives you some serious skills. Not only will it allow you to whoopalize upon anybody, yes, I said whoopalize because I think it's funny, all right? To allow you to whoopalize upon someone who is unjustifiably aggressing upon you or yours, whether that person is a criminal with or without a badge or not? The same training will put you in a position where most of the times you don't have to fight anyone because you're not where the drama is, and the drama knows better than to go where you are. The second most common saying in my gym is the fight you always win is the fight you're not in. Don't be where the drama is. Don't let someone escalate the situation to the point where you have to get into physical conflict with them. I'll teach you 4 things that you can easily do that will prevent 99% of conflicts. Yes, all you other, especially black or people of color, self-defense experts are doubly responsible for teaching those of us in the neighborhood the disciplines and the skills we need to keep us alive, help us develop into exceptional, contributing, non-criminal members of society who help our neighborhoods and help everywhere else that we're at. Okay, that's about it for me right now. Tyree King shouldn't have been killed. Tyree King also shouldn't have been where the criminals were at. My next messages, you see it in my playlist. I start offering more solutions for this because everybody talks about the problem. Oh yeah, the problem is that they point your finger at it. What are you gonna do about it? What can you do about it? Well, I gave you some suggestions right now. I'm gonna give you some more. All right, keep your eye locked on this. Hit it with the like. Hit this video with a like. Subscribe to this video. Share this video with your friends. All right, this is how we pay our bills. And I'd love to meet more people like you so we can continue our conversation. Leave your comments at the end of this video. Take care of yourself. Asante sana. Ashe.